If it happens, you hit refresh and it should disappear. So what's happened is it's archived.
Yeah. I understand.
All right?
Yeah.
So it will be drawn across the ESRS as from the March, because that's the date that we started this service. So it automatically archives and closes off the old one and draws through. All right?
Yeah.
And then basically we do exactly the same. We'll just change that date.
I also have a question here.
Yeah.
Say I found out our consumer, they just change the the service time. Always they like to change. So every time they request change, so we change it. Do we always need to home visit the client and get the signature just for the care plan?
No. Oh, you can get the care plan, yes, probably, so that they can see that you've changed it. The issue. You need to issue a new agreement when they have a change. Anything major, so a change of level, package level, you would. But picking all these boxes.
Say, for example, they request to increase service hours because that relates to the budget. So, I guess.
Every month, though, yeah. I mean, that's really an organisation where you definitely want to print the care plan, all right, and get them to re-sign it. So with the home care package, okay, once again, we having put change of service in other, and with this got, the latest document that we just did. Now, for the establishment fee, you would put that in as a one-off service, and you don't have to go through the change process to do this. So basically, it's exactly the same as what you would do. So it's under admin. Where would you have your establishment fee?
What's your establishment fee? Establishment fee?
Further on, this pusher, document and postage, that's just the first. You probably don't even need to consult the strategy on that one. And basically, you just do it exactly the same. Then, if it's the normal provider, like you, Opticare, and that's your seven workers, and you can set up against it, or if it's a one-off, you type the name in here, alright? Then the date that it happens, then you can actually just put the top of it, so it's video date, that's different. Bill is authorised by, but you do have to put a start, finish time in, but it doesn't affect the cost, because you've already put the cost in. Whatever you type in is displayed in the consumer statement, alright? So if your initial posting of agreement or something like that in there, and then you just go save. Example, alright? Then the difference here, you don't need to worry about going to the delivery plan to complete it. You can confirm to complete it right there. Alright?
Yeah, that's the question. It's completed already. Because once, sometimes like the client needs extra service, we use that as a one-off services. Is that okay?
Yeah, look, if they pop and change too often, it's usually a good idea not to encourage them not to do that, because that makes it really hard on you. Plus also having staff available if they're swapping and changing all the time. So if it's just well, go to the delivery plan. Okay?
Yeah, because once we did that, and we found that when we added the one-off services, and the services is like completed, not pending. We plan that like happening maybe in 2 days later. But when we added the one-off services, it says completed.
Well, you don't have to complete it. You can just say, okay, not complete it. But if, say, say something, this is on the service that's actually registered, okay?
Yeah.
If say, Tuesday, it happened later,
Yeah.
so you just go edit, and can say, okay, it took longer, so we'll go at 10:30, right?
Yeah.
Then we can change it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah.
that's one that's already planned. But yeah, if it's an addition to the plan, so yeah, put it in as one off. As I said, you don't have to tick that completed. You can just say okay and it will bring it down to pending. Alright?
Yeah. Actually, our question is when we add the one-off service in the plan, and then the status of the service just shows completed. It's not pending.
We can change it.
Can we? Can we?
I found a way to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just pick it as not. But what you can do here,
Yes, you can add it.
You see, it's completed. Also, we
You
can
can
change it to pending.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
okay?
Uh-huh.
But there is another one. I think you can save and can complete, but I think you can go okay and it just comes through pending.
I have another question here. So we have the pending services. On the right bottom corner, can we assign this to a worker directly? I was just wondering, assign to someone. So we just make that. If we can do that, just make our job much easier. So we can assign to. Or we have a list there that we can assign to a worker.
Yeah, you can't do that at this stage. It's in EHCP. You can type it in, like you can edit it and assign it to someone,
It's
right?
nothing.
But it's not going to flow through to ESRM at this stage.
Oh, it's
Okay, you need to assign it in ESRM.
Yes.
Right? Is that okay? The
Okay.
only other thing I was going to say to you is say, like you have the package level increase, and you couldn't use the actual date in the change process because you've done a change previously. What you would need to do is use the next available date. Then you would have to make a budget adjustment, and this can be done outside the change process too, to bring into line the new government subsidies. So you go subsidies, and then say you the 3 days shy. What you do is you put 3 days worth of the government subsidy in here, all right? Add it to their budget. And then you could put the description in 3 days of government subsidy for level 4. And that way it will show up on, and then once you do it, you save it, and so that brings all the budget back into line. Alright?
So excuse me. Yep, excuse me, Judy. Can I ask because we get the income tax reduction as well. So do you do it as a adjustment? Do you?
No. If there's got an income, you're saying an income tax fee.
Yeah.
So if there's been issued one and then it changes.
I think in every month, like there's some consumers that might have some, I think, reduction of some sort. So apart from your subsidy, you get a reduction of some sort
Yeah.
on a monthly
I'm hearing
basis.
that more and more. You have to go through a change process for that.
Can it be
And
fixed in as such in the system?
No. So if you like you receive a letter
Mm.
and so see how these are grayed out. Let's say the letter's an income basically, okay, and then you can do other and go change of income. Okay,
Yep.
so that will show you. Then what you need to do is you go into the budget and you need to change the income tax fee here. So say it was $10 something and now it's changed to $5.34, okay? So that automatically goes up there
Oh, and
and
that.
then you save, alright?
Yep.
And if that's all that we're doing, then we go to finalize and same as it did before, all right?
Okay.
So that means the automatic, so, yeah. That means then after change, the automatic deduct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it, that's because, $5 actually, government expects, the client to pay, but they are not paying. They are, that actually that's why it's yellow, there's no income coming. The only thing is minor the $5. I said how to do the minor the $5 is not in past $5.
No. What you need there, I don't know whether you've got it, I'll just check, it's the override. And when we're doing the renewal, we're actually offering that at a really cheap price, because it is a common problem.
But otherwise, $5 more, the mean is you income $5 more, but that's offset, is $5 less.
To pay, all right? Because the trouble is, the trouble is, it comes off the government subsidy that you receive. So even though they refuse to pay it, the government thinks you're paying it. So what you need to do is, you haven't got it yet, you need to purchase. And have you received your invoice?
What do you
Don't
mean?
say income tax fee override on that. So if you've got that, what you do is you tick that, and it just brings it down to zero, and it changes the government subsidy back to what it would be if they were charging one. There's no way to show that they're not paying, unfortunately. Income tax fee, that's something you have to do separately. If you want them to pay that, there's no way of doing that.
So, if you show in that, just to say the showing the client to pay this one, but actually, and this one, as I just mentioned, this one, the $5 is not the government in, the government deducted, and the patient, the client will not pay nothing. So if you put in there, that means it's $5 more, but actually you need less $5. So how you in here to show?
Well,
In the monthly statement, that will come pretty different.
Yeah, so at the moment, because you don't have the override, okay, if they're refusing to pay, you cannot put an income tax fee in because it will automatically show on their
Yeah.
state.
Yeah, so then it is not put in there.
Yeah, but when you get this income tax fee, and I'd say, as I said on your invoice, it's probably listed there, and we can do it, then you can just do the override, and it's not a problem.
You need to deduct the fee or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is, okay. All right. Have you got any other questions on this, or have you got others on ESRM?
I would do, because we probably mentioned that some of our data, we put in some data, for instance, by the end of the month. Is there any way, any component you can put a freeze so that there won't be any changes made, for instance?
Oh, so you get, so just not anyone making a change?
Yeah, for instance, someone might put in new data, but it won't get, it shouldn't be affecting what the current month is as such.
Yeah. Okay. What you can, well, there's one thing is the permission.
Yep.
You can change sentences so that they can't do it. The other thing is, under admin,
It's under budget
Under-
revision.
you
Okay, yep.
have a closing date.
Oh, okay.
So if, say you've finished everything from February,
Yep.
you put this in as, 28th of February.
Yep.
Okay. And say, and that means that no one can, you can still say data, but nothing to do that's going to change anything financially.
Okay. So, but if we enter, but if, for instance, we might have something that comes in late. So if we want to change, if we put a closing date, do we need to go through budget revision and update it through that way, for instance?
No, what you do is if you need to do that, say we're saying that as the 28th, you just enter a date before.
Yep.
So if you've got something that came in, say, the 15th of February,
Yep.
put the 14th of February there and save it, and it'll open it up again.
Oh, okay. So it has to be the
Then
day
you can go
beforehand.
back
Yep.
and do the 28th once you've got that in. That's not happening.
Okay, so that's how you close off the month off. Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're financial.
And
Okay,
another
thank
thing
you.
is, and can I actually, I just go back to the campaign change? Yeah, one question is, can you go back to the care plan change.
Yep. Okay, yep.
Yeah, now, and you can just tick the one that still have a sign question mark in there, you know, that the mark is in there. So can you go into, I want to be changed, the service hour?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you do, yeah, I
Same
can,
as we did
yeah,
before.
yeah, I know, I just go into the,
Yeah.
under the
We're
other
doing
one
it
question.
at the fifth, okay? Because we didn't finalise that. So basically, it's exactly the
Yeah.
same here.
Yeah, so from here, yeah, this is the question from me, and also the sign chapel is from here. And yeah, so we based on the before, for example, the nursing service. So we say, let's say it's from last year coming now, it's the every Thursday, and it's one times or two times, and now the won't be change is the Monday, but only one times. So in this case, because of the, you know, they haven't finished, they, you know, they come to the next year, the original, the plan is they come to the July, but now only February. So for here, if we change in here directly, we just find out the sign, you know, before we doing since the finger is gone from the monthly statement. So now, so in this stage, so we should just say, what I do now at the moment, more work to do is stop from today, and I get a new one, I start from the new. So just say, because stop the one they can, previously they can to, stop, just only stop before the, you know, what the charge is in there. So we from now to, and get a new one. So for this sense, I just would like to know is if we change it from there, so why there would be, the finger would be changed?
Now, look, if they're just changing it for once, you can either edit it in the delivery plan like we showed you before, or you can just do a one-off service if it's on a different day. If they're constantly changing, it's probably worth your while having a conversation with them, because otherwise, if they're changing all the time, you may not have staff available for when they change it to.
It's not there, it's on the E2 system here, just say client require, you know, sometimes the client is required always to change the time. So we need to here to change the time. And the match, you know, the schedule support and is the same with exactly the APP they can show. So that's the reason we needed to change it here. So the change is from here. So the before, we change it just say in the change. So they all the things disappear. So the second question is that can I find out before the change? Because the store or whatever change, the pass or the care plan, I can see. When I can find out to see.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that last question.
And the question is when we made the change, or made the stop before, that before the one when we stop or when we change. Some you can see in the icon, but majority is disappear. So way I can find out the before.
GK Gordon can tell me or to others.
Yeah, before the one, just the way we can find out the history about the care plan we stop, we change, or we delay. Way we can find out.
It's the history of what's changed, okay, using the home care package here.
Where?
All right? So that's why I said it's not.
You mean only we can
Sorry?
only we can check in here, Helen? That means only we can check in here.
Packaging history.
You mean it's only we can check in here. From here to find out the before.
I think Jen is referring to the schedules. So if for instance there might be a change in the schedules as such, like it's the services have been changed. Can we actually, is there any way that we can actually go back to it?
Yeah, back to
Back to
find
the
out
original.
the delay. Yeah, the delay one or original one, you know.
Yeah.
We can try to find out the check-in with the something.
Yeah. If you tick all those boxes when you do the change, so there's the schedule, the later one. But if you go into the archive, it will have all the old ones in there too.
Okay. But once we say that we can't, there's no way that we can go back to the and it's been finalized, we can't go back to the previous one, can we?
You have to go through another change process. But why would you want to do that?
Oh, we're just asking.
Yeah, because always finalize, then we can see the APP schedule support or calendar. And then if we not finalize, we can see the schedule support and the calendar. So if we change, after August finalize, okay, the client say, okay, no, I need to get and change the time. Before the Monday, now I need the Wednesday. And before it's the morning, and now I need it to afternoon. So you have to change. If you not change, how you can hear? Because
Okay.
this is not one time. If one time you can say one time off because they just say change. Just like now, the often thing is today we make all the finalize say okay service letter is the Wednesday, is from 9 to 10. But now he said no. And I don't want the Wednesday just for some reason. I want to go Tuesday.
I already done that.
No, I know.
Today.
I want to be just say to do this one. I know you've done that. Then
You can do the delivery plan and you can edit, you can change the time, and then it automatically reflected on the carrier's mobile. I did that this morning.
So you mean is
You just did the edit.
You change that.
Yeah, that's
Say
it.
with 11:30
yeah.
to 12:30. You just change that there, make it.
But the day is different.
Save it.
Can we change the day as
No,
well?
only the day.
You can change the
Which
day
the
as
day?
well.
You can change the
No,
day.
I can see.
Oh, I can see.
Where?
Edit.
So go which way?
You can change everything.
You can change everything.
In the where?
Yes, everything.
Right?
Okay.
And it's automatically connected to the
To connect the
system.
human. So we
Yes.
don't need to go back to the finalize again to add that in the campaign again.
No?
Okay, yeah. I think we've covered. Is there any more questions?
Yes, so the question is because I just say that because before just say they change. Now we need to finalize, change it again. So now you say it's only we can go to the where. Can you show
Yeah,
beginning?
as I said, if it's just like like a change in date or time, you go into the delivery plan and just edit it there. If it's a one-off difference, you
No,
put it in
one-off.
one-off.
Yeah.
If changing permanently, you do it through a change process.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
you in go to here to change it, even the day or time. So how about the service and item? Just for example,
No,
say
if it's a totally different service than that, you'd either have to, if it's planned, you'd have to add another planned service, or if it's a one-off, you'd have to put it in as a one-off, all right?
Yeah.
so the mean is only is the day or time you can change it here. The automatic linking to the app, even though we have lead it and put to the human resource part. If we change the item, so we have to do that again, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
they will affect it or not. Because sometimes, they will doing just the transport, and also the transport is only kilometers before the long that we needed to change it to the social support. Yeah.
Listen, Helen gets it, so check with her. Have you got any other questions? Because we've sort of run out of time.
Yeah.
Yes, I have one more question. Like, for the one client, like one day from 10 to afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock, we have, it's a one carers. But because, the category is different, maybe for the first hour is to the transport, maybe second hour is the convenience, third hour maybe is coming. So they in the end, the carers in their mobile, it happen. You can see like 3 services. So they have to complete the 3 signature, 3 progress notes, 3. They have to put it 3 times from pending to complete. So this, which is only one service.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that has a lot, you can actually set up a service in under the service providers, all right,
So we change the category.
covering all of that.
Yeah,
So have a new service, all right. So
Yeah.
if say off the care,
yeah.
you do a new service, and I won't do it, but you cover it off whatever the
All
main
of them.
category.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you call the service, you can add a name there. You can call it like combination service. So
Yeah.
or travel, cleaning and with showering or something, okay? And then that way you just put it on as the 3 hours, because if it's the same care worker doing it, you can just put it on for the 3 hours,
Yeah.
and then you only have to mark it off once.
Yes, I got it. Thank you, Judy.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Actually, I have
any
one more
others, or-
Actually, I have one more question. Like my question is related to the human resource department. When the carers, they sometimes, they went to the client's home. The client something happened and said, okay, I need you one more time, 1 more hour. So which means that they are doing 1 hour overtime. And which is fine. They can clock in, clock out correctly. But can we can the charge to the clients be automatically updated, or do we have to manually do that?
manually?
So we have to manually do that.
Yeah.
So they get in one.
If it affects the budget, you'll have to do it on EHCP.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, thank you, Judy.
Sorry, another question, sorry,
Hi,
Judy.
Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Alan, how are you doing? Hi, Judy.
Yeah. Judy, can hear you?
Just one simple question. I just wonder whether or not that the e2.com.au work or not at the moment, because I tried to log in, because I tried to, get on this website and nothing on. Just wondering if the website do work.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
You have to be with no background noise. Thank you, please.
So it's something that charges, right?
I mean, the e2.com.au, is that working or not? I tried to get on there, nothing on this website at all.
Oh, okay. I'm not aware of the property. I'll just find myself now. No, it's down. I've just tried it myself. It's down. So I'll let them know. Okay.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get familiar with the website though.
No, actually, it says it's under maintenance, and when I said continue, it's actually open. So I'm not sure. I'll let them know anyway that there's a few issues. All right.
Yeah, and
Judy.
yeah, also you have
Judy, sorry, Judy. I just want to ask. Like last time we had a session, and there's been changes made, and there's some missing data. Is there any way that we could retrieve the data previously?
Is that on?
Yeah, it is. It's on the EHCP system because it's occurred again. We have some data that's missing, and we have no idea what's going on. And we're just thinking, is there any way to minimize and trying to retrieve the data back?
What sort of data's gone?
Purchases. We put in data for purchases, and it's just missing. It's just bizarre. Purchases.
Do you know what date they've sort of disappeared from?
I'll double check because maybe we need to, probably we'll contact you by email. How about that?
Yeah,
Because-
that's really good idea. Because as a general rule, we've had this happen with another organisation, and it is literally user. Someone has deleted it.
Oh, for us it isn't. It's just disappeared. Because like we put it in one day and then the next day the data's just disappeared. And it's
Okay.
just, yeah.
All right, well, check that out and email me or put it through the support portal as an actual ticket.
Okay.
And if you know, the only thing you can do is, get it, redo the database back to the date disappeared, but then you lose all the data that you've done in between.
But we're finding it occurring quite often. So
Okay.
if it's quite often, it becomes an issue.
Okay. So if you can work out what disappeared,
Yeah.
and it might be the next time it happens. So next time you add a purchase,
Yes.
take a screenshot of that and then double check the next day. And if it's disappeared, send both those through. Then we've got a perfect example of what happened.
Yeah, just for example, the C2, yeah, the person